Blacktricity, gotkushTV's exclusive free Kwanza Showcase is now available for you to watch absolutely free. In conjunction with Ghana, Beyond the Return series, we have brought the African Diaspora experience directly to you. To watch this monumental event absolutely free, simply register for membership at gotkushTV.com and you will receive access to Blacktricity as well as more exclusive content. Register now at gotkushTV.com.
Those are the powerful principles that undergird the celebration of Kwanzaa between the 26th of December and the 1st of January. Now, I stated, brothers and sisters, that these are life principles. These are not just principles for us to swat at the end of the year and memorize and recite vainly and idly, brothers and sisters. But there are principles that we must practice in our daily lives, so that by practicing those principles individually and collectively, within our families, our communities, our organizations, our institutions, it guarantees us at the end of the year that we as a people, individually and collectively, would be able to qualify and quantify our productive and creative achievements. And that is what we celebrate at the end of the year. It is not an occasion for just vain and empty ritualizing or vain and empty reveling. It is a deep and meaningful expression of our African dignity and our African purpose, our African consciousness. Tendai Mwari.
Welcome to gotkushTV, the UK's #1 conscious platform. It's your Ankh Dr. Duamutiv and Ankh here at Blacktricity. We are having an absolutely fabulous time. You see some great acts, and not only that, we are also linking with Beyond the Return, because it's all about making sure that our people know all what's on offer at Ghana, in Ghana, and on the African continent. We have with us an esteemed guest at this present time, the leader of the Al-Kibulan Revivalist Spiritual Movement. I want to say greetings, Tendai Mari, Namastu to brother leader, MBANDAKA.
Tendai Mwari, my brother, Namastu.
Yes. We bow to the divine or the divinity within you.
Word song.
Just heard a powerful Kwanzaa speech from you in regards to Africa, African liberation, and all that we must embrace in order to go forward. Just want to know your thoughts on this here Kwanzaa season. Being 2020, as you can see at this present time, as it's unfolding, has been a year of big revelations, especially for the African Caribbean community and where we stand right about now. So I feel this Kwanzaa message you've delivered this year is somewhat poignant, shall we say.
Tendai Mwari, well, Rumbidzo Kuna Mwari, Africa, to the God of Africa be the glory. We certainly hope that the message will inspire our people. This is, as you said, a very challenging year. A year in which many African families have lost members of the family, communities, organizations, including the Al-Kibulan Revivalist movement. And where we are being made to believe that there is a pandemic that is virulent and, deadly. And so many people are in fear. In fear of their lives. And it has always been the position of the Al-Kibulan Revivalist movement that in our history of experiencing the Ma'afa, that is the destruction of African humanity that we have suffered at the hands of Europeans, that we must always be vigilant and we must always question everything that they claim, everything that they put out there by way of propaganda, no matter how convincing it may seem. And certainly where the government takes a position that restricts our civil liberty or threatens to deny us our civil liberties, we should be vigilant and we should question. And that's the mode that we all should be in. But going into the Kwanzaa season, we urge our people to take every opportunity to celebrate our Kwanzaa to the fullness and not be so COVID bogged down that we forget it's Kwanzaa and we forget to do what we normally do at Kwanzaa time.
Especially being a family type of season and a family type of year, it's imperative really that our people, as you say, who are in fair at this present time, still embrace what we would do naturally, normally as African people?
Most definitely. And it's unfortunate that we're not organized to the level whereby we have our own institutions in place, established, well-resourced, and where we can have our experts investigating the various aspects of this pandemic, whatever we want to call it. Some of us think it's a pandemic. Some of us regard it as a plandemic. Whichever it is, we ought to have our experts. There's the scientific and medical elements that we need to qualify and quantify. There is the legal elements, some of what the government, a lot of what the government is doing. You have leading senior politicians, no less than Lord Jonathan Sumption, a former Supreme Court judge.
Questioning the government's narrative.
Well, not even just questioning, stating emphatically that much of the government's undertakings are against the law, against the constitution of the country, which is undergirded by its laws. And he, if anyone should know, he should know. Yeah. Where are our legal experts? There are economic consequences to the decision and the position that the government has taken. There are educational consequences. There are psycho-emotional consequences. Where are our behavioral experts to, again, study these dynamics and to advise and inform and even instruct our community? Where are our organizations that are supposed to provide leadership? Where are our leaders at this time?
Well said, Brother Leader, because in terms of challenging the narrative, we don't really have a respected voice, let's say, MP, politician, or highly qualified scientist or doctor who's questioning the narrative, especially when the narrative being pushed in regards to this COVID fear, is that we as Nubian Melanites, African Caribbean people are more susceptible to catching this virus. So it's as if we're being lined up at the head of the queue for vaccines.
Well, they're rolling out the vaccine this week. And the unfortunate thing is that many of our people will be convinced because the government said so, and because the media has regurgitated it over and over again. And I mean, let's face it, the propaganda is very powerful. It's unrelenting. It's 24/7. It's on the TV, it's on the radio, it's just there. And these are experts at what they do. And so many of our people are convinced by the propaganda. Some of us are in a dilemma. We don't want to be convinced, but when the stakes, when we are convinced, or when we hear it's life-threatening, it's deadly, then the stakes are very high, and nobody wants to die. This is why they can get away with it.
Very well said.
Yeah. But we must not forget, sorry to interrupt you, my brother, our thrust as a movement is to impress upon our people that this is the Kwanzaa season. And whilst we must continue to interrogate this pandemic, we must not forget it's Kwanzaa, and we must give due attention to the season that we're in. We in the Al-Keblan Revivalist movement, we refer to this season as the pre-Kwanzaa season, and it's just as important as the Kwanzaa season, the 7-day celebration itself, how we prepare for Kwanzaa. We call it Kwanzaa rising. especially when we have children, we should Kwanzarize them. So we should start doing things in the home to prepare them, start doing the decorations, getting the symbols together, start to set up the shrine. Don't wait until the day before, you know, and start getting the spirit of Kwanzaa going in our homes and in our communities, so that we feel we all are generating the Kwanzaa spirit and the Kwanzaa energy. That is very, very important. I mean, this is what every people do. You look at these people and they approach Christmas, they start celebrating and indicating Christmas coming from about living a mine shop Messiah. They're August, our Messiah season.
As soon as winter lit.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
you know,
all about Christmas.
And there's a build up. Yeah. So we have to do the same. You see, this thing called Kwanzaa is nothing less than a stroke of cultural genius. I mean, it's, for me, one of the wonders of the world. Think about a small organization in America of African sons and daughters who, and it was a very small organization in 1966. The first Kwanzaa celebration, I think, had maybe a dozen people there. I don't even think they had enough children for each of I think it was about 6 children present. It was a small gathering. Now, there are millions of people, so, you know, 30 million, it could be 40 million people, but at least 30 to 40 million people around the world celebrating Kwanzaa. Just think about the vision of this handful of people at that time who were concerned about, this is the revolutionary 60s, the middle of the revolutionary 60s, and who are searching for the answer to our cry for liberation, our cry for justice, and realizing that this connection needed to be made with the motherland, realizing that there was a big gap whereby we had lost our sense of self because we had been stripped of our culture. And they took it upon themselves on our behalf to travel to them. I take these things personally. You do something for the race, I take it personally, I love you forever. You do something against our race, I take it personally, and I might well hate you forever. You understand? Because African life is precious. And they took it upon themselves to travel to the motherland. Travel to the motherland to study African traditions, and in particular celebratory traditions, and bring it back, to the America.
And
to
spread
America.
it around the world.
Spread it around until it not only diffused throughout America, but it also went to Africans in the Caribbean, Africans in Europe, Africans here in the UK, Africans on the continent, on the mother continent. So it really is a stroke of cultural genius and vision, and we must maximize its meaning and purpose.
Talking about the Kwanzaa meaning and the Kwanzaa principles, I just want to wrap up by asking you, how are those principles, or how important are those precepts and principles of Kwanzaa going into 2021, especially with, as we've already discussed, the whole pandemic, scandemic. Those principles are even more important now for us to hold on and to embrace as a foundation when things are looking decidedly rocky as we move forward.
Indubitably, it is of profound importance, especially when you consider the first principle is umoja, unity, to strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. Within the Al-Keblan Revivalist movement, it's that important that we use those principles now to name the days of the week. So within our movement, we no longer talk about Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which are all names of European gods. Yeah,
European, Norse, Roman, Greco-Roman gods.
That's
and goddesses.
It. And some of them German and whatever it is, but European anyway. And the word day is actually a short for deity. So every day when you say Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you're evoking a European deity.
Well said, yes, that's true.
If we say Umoja Day, Kujichagulia Day, Ujiba Day, Ujama Day, Nia Day, Kuumba Day, Imani Day, we are evoking African principles that are designed to inspire us, to unite us, to restore to us our sense of culture, our sense of empowerment, to have us working with each other collectively, to remind us of the importance of building our own industries, our own shops, our own stores, and engaging in collective cooperative economic activity together in the interest of the collective, and to repeat that and regurgitate that on a daily basis has a profound impact on the inner psyche. This is what we have to understand. They play all kinds of tricks with us.
Yes, especially psychologically, subconsciously and consciously.
And as you well know, 90% of what we do and say is controlled by our subconscious minds.
Yes.
Less than 10% by our conscious minds. So less than 10% of what we do and say is processed consciously. We do it subconsciously. And so we have got to understand the power of the mind and how we can influence the power of how our people think, and how we can synchronize our people in their thought. And that's why Kwanzaa is so important. It synchronizes us globally. We're focusing on the same thing. Just like Muslims during Ramadan, Muslims around the world are focused. They're
Jews during Hanukkah.
Hanukkah, yes. Christians during Christmas, whatever it is. We as Africans, we have to understand the power of that lies in that. Yeah. And we have to do the same. So it's of profound importance. There are three themes of Pan-Africanism. Three Garveyite themes of Pan-Africanism. As I said, brothers and sisters, Papa Garvey defined Pan-Africanism in a pragmatic way, in a practical way. He gave us the practical black print, the template for the practice of Pan-Africanism, and demonstrated through that our power potential. What are the three themes? Look to Africa. Look to Africa, brothers and sisters. Papa Garvey said, let Africa be your guiding star, your star of destiny. All Africans worldwide must therefore be Africa focused. We must look to Africa for culture. Look to Africa for spiritual direction. Look to Africa as our source. Look to Africa for inspiration. Look to Africa as our home. Look to Africa to reclaim her.
Just before we wrap up, one of the things that we wanted to try and impart, especially with this Blacktricity pre-Kwanzaa event in conjunction with Beyond the Return, the importance of us as Africans of the diaspora now connecting with the motherland and looking to make tracks and invest in the same way our parents came from the Caribbean and Africa and came to Europe to give many of us a better life, they thought, or a better form of education or a better start. It's now that time we feel that we have to start making inroads into places like Ghana and Sierra Leone and Liberia and Nigeria. How do you feel going forward into 2021 with the African diaspora making that reconnection to Africa?
Tenaimwari, it is of profound importance. Africa is our motherland. It is our source. Africa to the African is of the same importance as a mother to a child. The connection between a mother and a child provides for that child that deep sense of security that child so profoundly needs. The mother's body has a cosmic mechanism to provide for that child the best food in the universe to sustain that child's being. We don't realize that the African continent, the soil of the African continent, have the best of everything that we need. You know, food, natural resources, the best of all we need is in the motherland. You know, the air, the sun, the prodigious sunshine of the motherland, all of which we profoundly need as a people. The soil and the ecology of the African continent is what engendered our nature of being. Our DNA is determined by the ecology of the African continent. So the connection, let it be known that when we're outside of Africa, our existence compared to what it would have been living on the African continent is degenerative.
Yes.
Yeah, we cannot achieve our optimum being outside of the land
Agreed.
that engendered our nature of being. So that connection is important. There's also historical reasons why and political reasons why it is important. Historically, we were snatched from the motherland. We didn't willingly leave Mama Africa. We were snatched from the motherland. And we've been taken through the most brutal, inhumane experiences that has ever disgraced humanity. No people have been through what we have been through as a people. And we were brought here to be abused and misused. We weren't brought here for some party and to enjoy ourselves and have fun.
People seem to think.
And to civilize ourselves. No. We were brought from our civilization, to be reduced to the lowest of the lowest beast in creation, because that's what they did to us. And so for us to restore ourselves to the fullness, we have to reconnect with our motherland. Politically, there's also economic reasons, but let me say politically, there's a fundamental principle of global politics, which is that whoever controls Africa rules the world.
That's correct.
Whoever controls Africa rules the world. When Britain controlled Africa, Britain ruled the world. Yeah.
Henceforth, the Chinese heavy involvement in all things African or all things
Well,
Caribbean
absolutely.
right now.
America controls Africa today. America rules the world. China has ambitions of being the #1 superpower in the world. China is moving to take control of Africa. Let's be very, very clear. That's China's objective.
Yes.
It is not in China's interest for Africa to be truly liberated.
No.
Right? Because if we are truly liberated, then economically we are going to be self-sufficient and self-reliant. It means that we are going to be able to build our own infrastructure, no need for China. We're going to be able to industrialize, not in the interest of China.
No.
Yeah. It means that China would not have the capability of exploiting the African market in the way that they are now, because Africa can build its own infrastructure. Africa can industrialize in its own interest. It means that there is now Africa has the capacity to add value to its natural resources. So we don't need to buy from China. Now China will have to buy from us. Europe will have to buy from us. Can you see it?
Yeah.
This was the vision of the most eminent prophet and king, His Excellency Marcus Messiah. He saw that. And to his credit, to the credit of Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah, he was inspired. He said, of all the books I read, and this is a man that read thousands of books, nothing fired my enthusiasm more than when I read Philosophy and Opinions of Marcus Garvey. So what he was trying to do on the African continent was to revive the black print of the most eminent prophet and king, His Excellency Marcus Messiah Garvey. Yes? And so his vision was to transform Africa into a superpower within one generation. It's roughly 25 years.
Yes.
By now, Africa would be the leading superpower in the world.
Yes.
Yeah? Everybody saw that and understood that, but we the Africans. Yes? And that's the vision that we need to understand as Africans. We have an opportunity. If we feed into Mama Africa and we support the empowerment and the liberation of the African continent, and we own Africa, and we feed into Africa in whatever way we can, spiritually, culturally, politically, economically, in every conceivable way, making physical connections, spiritual connections, cultural connections, in helping to forge Africa forward to fulfilling its potential of becoming the #1. So if Africans could only see it.
I say that nothing will change for Nubian Mennonites or African Caribbeans worldwide. I've been saying it for years. I've been teaching it for years on the radio, explaining it. Nothing is going to change for us, even Africans in the diaspora. Even if you have no plans to go to Africa, nothing will change for us until we get Africa at the stage of where China is, India is?
Well, what we need to understand, whoever controls Africa rules the world. To control Africa, you must control Africans. To control Africans, you must oppress Africans.
Yes.
Right? Whether we relate to Africa or not is irrelevant. The powers that be know this.
Yes.
And in fact, that is the reason why so many of us don't relate to Africa. Because the powers that be made sure that through our educational and miseducation process,
Propaganda,
and
everything.
this mis-socialization process, we are alienated from the African continent. Because if Africans around the world relate to the African continent, it creates a problem.
Yes.
Yeah, for those who want to control Africa in order that they can rule the world, right? So this is a challenge that faces us as a people, and we must know that liberation is a possibility. You know, this is not just a pipe dream.
No.
It's not going to come easily. We're going to have to fight hard for it. We're going to have to work hard for it night and day. But what alternatives do we have? Oppression?
I say that we for too long have been seeking equality when it's liberation and justice we really want. How can we want equality with a people who don't want to give equality to their own women?
Well, exactly.
It wasn't the African way. We put our women up as leaders, but these people women started a whole feminist movement, which is nothing to do with black women.
Yeah, well, exactly. The majority of their own people don't have equality with the aristocracy. They don't have no equality. So how are they going to give us equality? Yeah, and it's not equality with us that made them the most powerful people in the world. It's oppressing us. And they know that in order to maintain that power, they have to continue. You have to maintain that system of oppression. And we need to understand that as African people. Tendai Mwari.
Well said. We could be here for hours dissecting. You must join us on a Holder Meds one day and we can discuss all
Whenever you're ready, we're here to serve, my brother. We're here to serve. And I just want to thank you for the invitation. I'm humbled by it. And just as I love this thing, this Blacktricity concept. You know, the first time I heard it was from Baba Sengo Baye when he was President General of the UNIACL, and it's just a powerful concept. And the beyond return concept in Ghana, I think it's awesome. And as a movement, we look forward to feeding into that and supporting it in the best way we possibly can.
Excellent. As we said to all of our interviewees today, look forward to doing this with you in Ghana. Hopefully.
No, that would be great.
Yeah, that would be real greatness. Yeah.
That's a sumptuous prospect, my brother.
Keep doing what you're doing with the Keep Learning Revivalist movement. Keep those African precepts and principles of Kwanzaa alive, and hopefully we can get to the point where Africa will realise its potential and the African diaspora can go home and live a quality of life that we're not living at this present time, that we should have as we say gods and goddesses, kings and queens of Africa return.
We say Kanamwari, that by the grace of the Almighty, that we shall do.
Namaste.
Namaste.
So many thanks to those of you who've been taking in our Blacktricity pre-Kwanzaa event. The noble brother leader MBANDAKA is our final interview as we get ready for Blacktricity 2021 and beyond in the Ghanaian Republic on the continent of Africa, and hopefully you will want to join us there, and it's become a destination where we'll see your children and you come with your families, and Ghana will be on your bucket list as well as other African countries. It's essential that we get Africa to the point what Brother Leader was just talking about, where it's fulfilling its potential. It's essential that we are at the top table in world and global affairs, and this is what Blacktricity is all about. This is what gotkushTV is all about. Liberation, we say. It's your Ankh Dr. Diaspora and we're good to be here on the UK's #1 conscious platform. Remember, you ain't got nothing if you ain't got kush. Namastu, Tendai Mari.
Namastu, Tendai Mari.
Blacktricity, gotkushTV's exclusive pre-Kwanza Showcase is now available for you to watch absolutely free. In conjunction with Ghana, Beyond the Return series, we have brought the African diaspora experience directly to you. To watch this monumental event absolutely free. Simply register for membership at gotkushtv.com and you will receive access to Blacktricity as well as more exclusive content. Register now at gotkushtv.com.